guess everybody knows Representative Hildebrand, Representative Jones, and the extinguished Senator Jeff Wentworth and I were all classmates. Good to see you, Senator.
And Chairman Jones and I were deskmates, actually, in the House until I moved over to the Senate. I actually did not come down here to testify this morning. I came down here to observe. But both Chairman Jones and Chairman Villarreal asked me to say a few words, so I will. I think it's important for people that are observing these proceedings to remember that we've got the most bipartisan legislature of the 50 in America. That doesn't appear to be the case in redistricting years, but we do. And it's attributable, in my judgment, to three things. The first is that we have biennial sessions that only last 4.5 months. We considered over 7,500 bills last year, and there's no way that you can thoughtfully consider 7,500 plus bills and also engage in petty partisanship. So as a general rule, all of us that are elected, whether we're Democrats or Republicans, come to the Capitol in Austin in regular session years, and we work together as Texans to solve Texas problems. The second reason I think we get along is, unlike the U.S. Congress and other legislative bodies around the country, we don't sit on opposite sides of the aisle. We sit all over the chamber in both the Senate and the House. I have a senator from Tarrant County who sits directly next to me. That helps with collegiality. The third reason is because about 35 or 40 years ago, when Governor Hobby was Lieutenant Governor and Billy Clayton was Speaker, even though there were broad Democratic majorities, those Democratic presiding officers began naming Republicans in the minority party to chair standing committees. That breeds cooperation. Now that we have Republicans presiding over both the Senate and the House, they've continued that custom. And you have Democrats and Republicans alike chairing standing committees. So all three of those factors bring us to be the most bipartisan legislature in America. The two issues that I know of, and on nearly every issue that we vote on, we find Republicans and Democrats voting yes, and Republicans and Democrats voting no. Except for voter ID and redistricting. And truthfully, there's no reason for me to believe, based on the history of this state and other states, to believe that next year will be any different. That's why when I chaired the redistricting committee in the Texas Senate in 2001, I asked the Lieutenant Governor to give me 4 Democrat senators and 4 Republican senators. He preferred to give me 5 Republicans and only 4 Democrats. But I told him that I couldn't keep the 5 Republicans from going off in a separate room and drawing a map that would benefit the Republicans at the expense of the Democrats. And I wanted a fair map. So he reluctantly gave me 4 and 4, and we drew a Senate map, 31 members of the Senate, with a clear Republican majority, because this is a Republican majority state. And that map came out of my committee on a vote of 7 to 1. We didn't deadlock, we didn't tie, because the 8 of us came together and drew a map that treated Texans fairly. And that's why I have introduced every regular session, beginning in 1993, a bill that would call for us to have a citizens commission made up of 4 Democrat citizens and 4 Republican citizens to take care of this very important process every 10 years. And I'm sorry that we haven't gotten it passed. The Senate actually passed it in 05 and 07, died in the House both sessions, got it through second reading last year in the Senate, and then lost by 1 vote on third reading, and I could never get another senator to switch. So here we are again, another decade and another redistricting. To be truthful, the people of Texas would prefer that all of us and our time and talent and energy be expended not on drawing lines, principally to save our own political hides, but to consider public education, higher education, the environment, public safety, and all the other issues that regularly are counted by Texans as the most important issues that we should be dealing with. But we don't. We deal with redistricting. So just you on notice, and shouldn't be any surprise, I'll be reintroducing my Citizens Commission bill for the session in 2011, and I am hopeful that we'll get that one extra vote in the Senate that we need, and that the House, I'm confident the House is going to do the right thing. I believe the House would have done the right thing last year if I'd just been able to get it over to you. Because we didn't do that, though, the House and the Senate will be tasked with drawing these lines. You may remember in 2001, we had that same assignment, and we adjourned the end of May in 2001, having failed to draw any maps at all. I'm hopeful we don't repeat that. I'm hopeful that we do draw lines, and I'm hopeful that we remember what both congressmen have said this morning, and that is that they don't draw lines. This is our responsibility, and we need to do it until hopefully we can turn it over to a Citizens Commission in the future. And Mr. Chairman, I thank you for the opportunity to speak.